We've got a number of stories for you tonight, and the first one I'm going to start with is a young man called Osama. So I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can now meet him.
Hello.
Okay, so Osama, why don't you tell us how you've ended up in Walthamstow?
Well, actually in 2016 I left my country in April, and I took actually a journey to Libya, from Libya to Italy by boat.
So where was your original country?
My original country is Sudan.
Sudan, so you
I'm
left
originally
Sudan.
from Sudan, yeah, I left Sudan. And you know, I spent like 25 days or something like this in Calais, and from Calais actually I crossed to the UK. When I crossed the UK, actually I ended in Glasgow first, then I moved by the Home Office to East Ham, and in East Ham actually I get my residence permit there. And when I get actually the residence permit, you know, I was actually living in Home Office house, so they like, you know, they ended the support for us. There's no support, so you have to get out of that house, and you have to rent your own house and kind of this stuff. So I've applied for something called Refugee at Home program, and I ended up with Rachel Summers actually in her beautiful house. I spent it there for like 3 months and half. That was from March to June 2017, and now I'm living in Chingford actually.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
you've gone up past the dog track.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about why you decided to leave the Sudan.
Well, actually it was like a political problem with we have like a horrible government in Sudan, and we have a lot of problems actually with the security services in there. So I was arrested for like 1 week or something like that. And when I get out, everybody advised me to leave the country because you will not be able then to live your normal life after that detention actually. And then I left the country after that story.
Tell us a little bit more about your journey. You said you went to Libya and then you ended up in Calais, somewhere that people in Walthamstow have had a lot of concern about and done a lot of work with Calais. Just tell us a little bit more about that journey.
Yeah, actually the journey from Libya to Italy, actually, it was from a place in Libya called Zuara. It was like a coastal city, Libya. We took the boat from there at 12 o'clock at the night. I don't remember the day, to be honest with you. And then we moved like, we crossed like half the Mediterranean Sea. Then they called the emergency services. I think it's like the sea police, you can call it or something like this. And then they come and they rescued us actually. They took us to an island, they call it Lampedusa, or something, not Sicilia in Italy. And then from there they took us to Milan, and then we went to France. I wanted to claim asylum in France actually, but you know, France, like, I don't want to insult France actually, it was like a mess actually. We didn't understand anything in France. We asked it how we can apply for asylum. They say you have to go and you have to sleep under a bridge in Paris. They call it La Chapelle Bridge or something like this. And I slept there for 2 nights with no food, with nothing actually. And then I asked people how we can find food, how we can eat. They say you have to go to Calais. And then we ended up in Calais. I spent there for like 25 days, and then we crossed it actually to the UK by a lorry actually. And now I'm living here as a refugee in Walthamstow.
And how have you found coming to Walthamstow? How was Walthamstow compared to Glasgow? Less rain?
It's interesting actually. The first day actually they decided to move me from Glasgow to London, I was like scared, and I was like, I don't want to move, and no, please, and kind of this stuff. But when I moved to London, I remember that from the first day I wrote on my Twitter, "Thank you, people of London, you are very lovely." I found them like, they accept people. I mean, like, they are lovely actually, they are friendly. To be honest with you, I'm speaking seriously actually, I'm not lying. Yeah, it was like something amazing, and yeah, it's nice actually, it's nice. I like London and I like Walthamstow particularly.
And what is it you like about London and Walthamstow? Any particular places, any particular experiences that you've had?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm working a full-time job right now, and I don't understand anything because I work from 10 o'clock to 7:30. So to be honest with you, the only place that I visit is just the center of Walthamstow and Walthamstow actually. I have visited the marshes with Rachel, I think, and yeah, that's it.
And what is it that you're working as at the moment?
Well, I'm working in a charity organization, they call it Groundwork. I have started working there in April 2017, and we are working in water saving program. It's like a contract between the countries that between the companies that I'm working in, which is Groundwork and Thames Water. So we are just like awareing people about how to save water and environment and kind of stuff.
And obviously you're still waiting to get your status sorted in the UK. What is your hope for the future? What is it that you would like to do in the longer term?
Well, actually, I'm graduated from petroleum engineering in Sudan, so I want to continue in the energy sector in the UK. I've applied for a master's degree, and I get accepted actually to study a master's degree in University of Strathclyde in Glasgow.
So you go back to Glasgow. But it rains as well.
It rains actually, but you didn't accept me in London. I've applied for many universities in London, but they didn't accept my application. I don't know why, to be honest with you, but they didn't accept it. So, and thankfully, also I get a scholarship actually by, Rachel helped with me actually in this issue. I got a scholarship to study the master's degree, so I don't need to pay actually for it. So that was nice actually.
So a scholarship in petroleum engineering, that's cool.
It is renewable energies actually, to be honest with you.
Wow.
The windmills and kind of this stuff, the solar plates and these things.
They have a lot of wind up in Scotland, I know that.
Yeah, wind and rain. Yeah. And
Brilliant. So when might you start that course? Is that in September?
it's in September, yeah. I'll start in September.
So you've only been a resident of Walthamstow for maybe a year?
Yeah, maybe a year.
Maybe a year?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything you'd like to say to people in Walthamstow before I ask anyone here if they've got questions for you?
I like the British desserts actually. Rachel told me about the trifle. So I really like the sweetest things actually. I like the cheesecake and and all these things actually. So yeah, and I like all them still as well because it's a sweet thing as well. Yeah.
You like the sweet? You're a man after my own heart. I like cake.
Yeah, I like cake. Yeah.
Brilliant. Does anybody have any questions for Osama about what you've just heard or?
How's life in Calais?
How it was?
How was life in Calais?
Well, Calais was like a suffer days, but when you cross here, you wish that days actually like stayed. You wish if you stay in Calais for a long time, actually for a longer time, because when you cross there, you remember the suffer, you remember the days, you remember how you were cooperating with each other, and it was a beautiful day, to be honest with you.
So you had friends in the Calais camps?
Yes, actually, I had like 2 friends, and I know them till now. Actually, one of them managed to cross to the UK, and one lived in France. Actually.
Anyone else?
Have you found the community in Stow?
Well, it's beautiful, to be honest with you. People are like, when I was living in East Ham, to be honest with you, I didn't even know my MP, and it was just like, I don't know how actually to describe it, but it was like everybody was himself actually. Nobody know the other one and this kind of stuff. But here in Walthamstow, I know a lot of people actually, and I just like, it's friendly actually, it's a friendly community.
Anyone else? Hiba.
Hi.
Hi.
I was a refugee like you, still I am in heart. I'm a very proud refugee, as you are. But do you get sometimes out of nowhere, do you get like feeling of, that you are safe, you are here, but people back home, family, friends, and not, do you get that feeling of feeling I'm safe, they're not? Do you get that? Because I do get that sometimes.
Well, I get that feeling actually, to be honest with you, and I'm really so sorry for many of the people who live in Sudan right now, but there's nothing actually I can do about it. I can help them by, I don't know, actually, just by sometimes sending money, sometimes by those kind of stuff, but there's nothing actually I can do. I'm sorry about them, actually. I'm really feeling sorry about them.
Yeah. It is something that all refugees people feel. It's like a guilt that you feel that you left people behind and you are peaceful here and all that. But as you said, Walthamstow is beautiful, so talk to friends when you have those feelings. It's good to share with others.
Yeah.
The political situation in Sudan is still very difficult.
It is still horrible, to be honest with you. People are getting arrested every day, and there's a war in, right now actually there are 2 Sudans. There's Republic of South Sudan and Republic of Sudan. So there is a war between the Republic of South Sudan and Republic of Sudan. And there is a war between people in Sudan and another people actually in the same country. And there is another war, in the people in the Republic of South Sudan and other people in the same country. So it is war everywhere in Sudan.
And do you think you would have been able to continue your studies and the work that you do had you stayed in Sudan?
No, to be honest with you.
So because you've been able to come here and come to the UK, you will be trained as a petroleum engineer. And do you have an ambition in terms of what sort of renewable energy you'd like to work with? Is there a particular type?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm just following the market. It's not just like a particular ambition or something like this. It's just like, because, you know, I wanted before actually to be a petroleum engineer, but when I studied that field and when I graduated, I found that the oil and gas has depleted actually, and people are leaving it. So I'm not going to just continue in this field because there will be no jobs in the future in oil and gas. So that's why actually I'm converting, or I'm changing to renewable energy sector. All right. Well,
hopefully you'll create the next renewable energy, and we can claim it for Walthamstow because we gave you a,
hopefully.
as well as trifle.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Osama, thank you so much for doing that. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you, guys.